Yo, I'm Bob, totally blind since birth, into Power Rangers, got the Shout Factory box set in my hands. Talking about Season 2, Episode 6, or Episode 66. So this one's called Bloom of Doom, and Bloom of Doom premiered on September 17th in 1994. This was on a Saturday, as well as my friend Justin's birthday. So it was a very Power Rangers-centric day. We got this new episode of the TV show. He also had a very Power Rangers-centric birthday party. Where he received the Automorphin Red Ranger at a Poncho's restaurant, if memory serves correctly. I don't even know if they make Poncho's restaurants anymore. So, yeah, it was pretty cool sitting there, having him describe all of the figures on the back of the Automorphin card. Back then they had pictures and, I guess, captions of all the figures you could get on the backs of cards. And I immediately wanted the Automorphin action figures for Christmas that year. So, Bloom of Doom was available wherever VHS tapes from Saban Home Entertainment were sold that fall. I got my copy as a get well present at the end of September that year. I was home sneezing my head off with a major case of the allergies. And yeah, Mom handed me the tape, and I watched the episode over and over again that day while sneezing my head off, and how funny because it's flower-centric. So in this episode, you got the Rangers trying to start their own clubs at Angel Grove High. Kimberly's trying to start a gardening club. Trini's starting some, I guess it's a tennis or volleyball club. Not sure which, because no audio description in these old shows. Bulk and Skull are trying to start the Unsolved Mysteries club, and they're going to discern the identities of the Power Rangers. They're carrying over that tape recorder plot they started in Putty on the Brain, so we see that again here in Bloom of Doom. I don't know if it's the same tape recorder. But yeah, kind of cool to see that brought up again. Still recording people's voices. Kimberly is a bit disheartened and just a trifle jealous because she sees everyone joining Trini's club and no one's coming to join her gardening club. Lord Zed notices that Kimberly has no club members on the moon, of course, as he's up there laughing to himself. And so he notices Kimberly just being a little jealous, and he's going to crank her jealousy up to over 9,000 to make a little Dragon Ball Z reference there for you. So he, I guess, conjures up a cactus flower. It certainly doesn't belong to the folks down on Earth. He has a putty take this flower, and he's going to have Kimberly accidentally prick her finger on the cactus flower, as he calls it. So you got Ernie trying to cheer Kimberly up, giving her a passion fruit pineapple smoothie, I guess. Good old Ernie, giving folks the shirt off his back if he can, if he thinks it'll help. One of my favorite characters from this show, by the way. And Mr. Putty, he's sent down. He is successful. Kimberly pricks her finger, and she turns into Mean Girl Kimberly for the rest of the episode. And I love Amy Jo Johnson's performance in this episode. I think that whenever actors and actresses, whenever they get to act out of character, they do have quite a bit of fun. She certainly seemed as if she was having fun acting out of character in this episode. She tells Trini to buzz off and thanks for hogging all the kids in your club, that kind of thing. And Trini's like, what did I do? I'd be happy to help you get new club members after my meeting. Kimberly's like, nah, buzz off. So I'm sure a lot of angry 90s parents sent a lot of angry 90s letters to Fox Kids. I don't know. They sure were doing that when the Lord Zed episode started, if memory serves correctly. So, yeah, you had that going on, and Tommy, he tries to give Kimberly some flowers. I think she throws them away. She's like, you know what? I hate flowers. And Kimberly's just fuming over the fact that Trini's got more club members than her. And I think she says something like, Trini is not my best friend, okay? So everyone's like, what in the world's going on here? How do we deal with this? And they're trying to all get back to the youth center so they can talk it out. And Zed, after Kimberly leaves the flowers alone, calling them boring, he turns the flowers into his new Bloom of Doom monster. So she's sent to attack the city side of the park. And you have Bulk and Skull trying to take Kimberly's voice to see if she's a Power Ranger. She's not falling for it. She is not having a very good day. I guess they are, though, because I think they bribe people to join their club with free food. Kind of ingenious there, guys. Not that I recommend doing that. So the kids are contacted. Kimberly sent a weapon by Zordon, and it's this ribbon-like weapon. She's going to have to wrap it around the monster like a vine. So they all get to the park. They're all morphed. Tommy, he goes with them as well, even though his powers are limited. He still chooses to go. And Bloom of Doom sends putties in. It's a really short putty battle, but you get that good old Ron Wasserman music as the battle's going on. And so then they have to face Bloom of Doom, and I wish Hasbro would make that in the Lightning Collection. She'd be a really fun flower monster to add. She can fire this incendiary pollen. I think, according to my brother, she shot it out of her mouth, out of her face or something like that. And yeah, this incendiary pollen would be a pretty cool effect piece if you wrapped it around the Rangers. She could also shock folks with her tentacle-like vine arms that she had, so you could give her some energy effect pieces too. So Kimberly tries to wrap Bloom of Doom up with her ribbon weapon thing. Trini accidentally cuts it, and Kimberly's not happy about it. Monster stares at Kimberly, gets her to look into her eye, I think she says. I guess she's only got one eye. Maybe it's eyes. I don't know. I always heard her say eye. And Kimberly is teleported to this interdimensional warp. The kids find that out when going to the command center, and they're not quite sure how to get Kimberly back. They're trying to analyze the situation. Meanwhile, Zed is basking in his apparent victory. He says Kimberly's jealousy has brought her to her doom. It's got her alone, and I think that's what jealousy does to people after a while. If you're just awful to people over time, you're not going to wind up with anybody, with any friends. And so Kimberly's by herself. Well, kind of Lord Zed's fault in this case. And she's being tortured by the monster, getting some incendiary pollen launched at her. She's being shocked by the monster's vines. Meanwhile, Billy and Alpha, they determine that if Trini throws her daggers at a 90-degree trajectory, she'll be able to penetrate that dimensional warp and also break the spell. So I guess it's got to do with more morphing grid stuff. Maybe the goodness in Trini's heart. I don't know, some kind of spell breaking mojo going on here. So that's what Trini does. She frees Kimberly from the interdimensional warp as well as the monster spell, and they're all buddy again. And I don't know. I think it's got something to do with the power weapons and the morphing grid energy as well. Zordon mentions the light of goodness later on in the season, so I wonder if it's got something to do with that, emanating from the power daggers. So everyone shows up. They battle the Bloom of Doom. They form the power blaster, of course, and she is blown up. She isn't able to grow. She just goes kaboom. And I like how the bad guys take it on the moon. Zed's, of course, furious, but rather than saying, "I'm sorry you failed, Master," Goldar, at this point, I guess he's thinking, okay, so if we admit that it's our fault, maybe he won't yell at us. So he's like, it's our fault, Master. Please forgive us. And Zed doesn't actually yell at him. So I mean, he takes credit for something he didn't do. And Zed doesn't yell at him. So the episode ends with Mr. Kaplan letting everybody know that he accidentally switched the member sign-up areas up in the school newspaper. He sneezes because he's got allergies, and I guess he loses his toupee. And the episode ends with everybody having a laugh. I think Bulk and Skull are up to more antics. And I really enjoyed this episode because of the monster, and you gotta love Amy Jo Johnson's performance. Bloom of Doom was a pretty good episode. I do like a rift in the Rangers a little better from Power Rangers in Space. We're way far away from that, but you've got a couple of Rangers actually going stir crazy, getting a bit tired of each other, and it's all natural in that episode. It has nothing to do with any magic spells or anything like that. But this one was still pretty cool. I like Zed's divide and conquer tactic that he uses. But next time, we're going to begin what fans call the Green No More arc. We're not going to start with Green Dream. That's got a line that sounds like it belongs toward the end of the arc. But you can watch them however you want to watch them. I think we'll be starting with the Beetle Invasion. But we find out why Lord Zed is launching all these attacks on Tommy in Beetle Invasion. So we'll be talking about that one. So be here for Beetle Invasion. Sorry about doing these out of numerical order, but I feel like this actually should take place at the beginning of the arc. So be here for that. I guess Bloom of Doom is calling, so I'm going to take this, and I hear you guys next time. May the power protect you.